Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Stephanie. This is my husband Micah.
Hello.
And today we're going to jump right in and give you 4 tips on what people don't tell you about weight loss surgery. And this is 100% real, the truth, and I didn't hear a lot of people talk about it, so we're going to have the conversation right now. So to jump right in, and if you want to follow me on my weight loss journey, I'm going to be making some more videos, so like and subscribe. I'll let you know, obviously you'll get a notification when they come available. But to jump right in, so the first thing is that people treat you differently. So my number one thing, to just kind of be frank with everybody, is to let you know, it may kind of confirm your worst fear, but people do treat you differently. I've had a lot of people treat me differently. I started at about 300 pounds. I had gastric bypass, full bypass surgery in November of 2020. I lost about 140 pounds. And throughout my journey, obviously got a lot of attention from family, friends, extended family, extended friends, friends of friends, because you've lost that much weight. Everybody wants to know why and how. And that's just a side tip. Before you ever decide to do this, you do need to decide how open and honest you want to be with those people around you, because you're going to get a lot of questions. But to bring it back in, people treat you differently. They're nicer, to be frank. And it is hurtful to realize that we live in a society where, appearance is everything. And it did hurt to realize that. At first I got upset with people for treating me differently, a little bit, but I realized that I think it was just a subconscious thing. They didn't really realize that they were, but they are. And so just to be frank and honest with you, people are going to treat you differently when you lose weight. They may find you more attractive, so that may give you more attention. They may notice you where they didn't before, maybe at work or out in public. But just know that's going to happen. So number 2, I'm going to let Micah tell you.
So number 2, and this was a big one for me, was when you go out to eat. If you're trying, like, we went out for anniversary, we wanted to save money. And so we only get one meal, because most restaurants nowadays have big, you have a big meal. So because she can't eat as much, we get one meal and then we share it. And you get, depending on the waitress or the waiter, you can get judged as the significant other, because the waitress, the waiter thinks you're being cheap. They think you're being mean, because like the one restaurant, I ordered a steak. It was our anniversary. I ordered a steak and potatoes and
we
she got
shared.
the side salad.
Yeah, so we shared. I kind of ate the side salad. I had a couple bites of steak, get some potatoes. I think we even had an appetizer, so I might have had a couple bites of that. And so I was pretty full, and obviously you can't eat that much after gastric bypass surgery. And there's not, to be frank, don't waste your money. I mean, if you ever decide to eat somewhere, I mean, if you can, get a kid's meal, because it's just a waste of money, or share, because it's just dumb to not. And you can do what you want. You can save stuff for later and bring it home and eat for like a week or whatever. But that was really hard, I think, for him especially, because people are like, what the heck, you big jerk. You're
ordering this amazing steak and potatoes, and you're making your wife eat the side salad. And I ended up telling the waitress. I went to the bathroom and I told the waitress, I'm like, hey, I'm not being cheap. My wife had a surgery and she can't eat that much. And then she's like, oh, okay. And she treated me totally differently after we had that conversation. And now Stephanie, we will go out and Stephanie will get a kid's meal, or we'll split the meal. And sometimes, if the waitress is acting funny, then I will tell her. But I mean, it's none of their business. But it's also, I was just self-conscious of like, oh wow, I didn't think about the fact that I was gonna have to feel bad about sharing a meal.
And I think it just kind of goes back to how open when you have the surgery, you got to think about how open and honest and frank are you going to be with people about having the surgery. How are you going to be when people ask you about it? So I think that's a big thing you have to think about. Number 3 was your spouse getting the question of, did you make your wife have weight loss surgery? Did you not find her attractive? You know, were you guys having problems? I mean, who knows the rabbit trails this could go down, but it was, that was, I think, something that Micah felt very, very judged when we started this. I don't know, tell him how it made you feel with people asking.
Well, you know, I had some people that are like, well, so, like, did you give Stephanie an ultimatum? Like, did you tell her she had to lose weight? And I said, no. This was
100% my idea.
She brought it up to me, and I said, if losing weight is going to make you feel better, if it's going to make you happier, then go for it. Because I fell in love with you the way that you were, and so, you know, it just
comes to a point where you have to realize that if you feel out of control in that area of your life, and you feel like this is the right thing to do for you, and you do your research and you discuss it with your physician, then by all means go for it. Take care of you. We always talk about self-care, and you know, your health and your mentality in life, that those are very important things. And obviously we've discussed it together, we've talked about it. It was very scary for both of us because it's like becoming a whole new person. And people can say, oh, I just lost weight, I'm still the same person. And you are still the same person. But having losing so much weight, it gives you more confidence. You could be more outgoing. You know, it could boost your career in different ways. I mean, there's just so many things that it affects in your life. Which brings us to number 4, which is, we didn't know this beforehand, and statistically, the divorce rate for married individuals who have gastric bypass is extremely high. I think it's above 90%, or it's hovering right around there somewhere, which I think we were both shocked to find out. And Micah kind of did his own little Google search with that and was like, holy crap. And I think it comes back down to the fact that you're changing as a person. You're putting yourself as a priority, your mental health. It changed the way we eat. Our kids want McDonald's. Sorry, mommy can't eat there. We're not going to McDonald's. We're going home and I have to cook, and like, we're eating healthier. We're not eating a bunch of junk. I can't keep a bunch of junk food in the house. I think the big junk food thing that's our problem is chips, and our daughter loves chips, and so that's still here. But it does. It can affect your marriage. So be aware, if you are having problems before weight loss surgery, you're probably going to have problems afterwards. You know, not to be rude, or mean to other people who have had problems, but we haven't had problems. My husband and I met 9 years ago, and we haven't had any issues. However, a lot of people have.
And on a side note, kind of a funny story is, we went to, after Stephanie had lost all of her weight, we went to Quick Trip, and I had driven separately because I was going.
It's a local gas station.
Yeah, gas station. And I don't know why I drove separately, but we both stopped, and so I filled up my car, and I said, "Oh, here, I'll fill up your car too." Because
it's winter, it's really cold.
And she,
by the way, when you lose weight and you live up north where it's cold, you get really cold, even more so than you used to.
But I filled up her car, and as I walked by, she rolled down the window, and I gave her a kiss, and then I walked in to pay for my gas and her gas. And the lady in the Quick Trip was like ultra rude. And
the cashier behind the counter.
We live in a small town, and so I went in. I was like, oh, that's kind of strange. Like, I've seen this lady like every day for the last however many years, and I left. Well, then about a week later, I went back in, and she's like, I am so sorry. She said, I saw you kissing this lady who definitely wasn't your wife. She's like, and then your wife came in, and I realized that it was your wife.
It was me.
And so, even though we didn't have problems, this lady thought that I was having an affair because I was smooching this, lady who could have been my wife.
And I will say, I had weight loss surgery in November of 2020. Okay, so pandemic. So like, we're not going outside. We're not going anywhere. We're picking up groceries. Like, so by the time summer came around, that's 8 months later or whatever, 6 months later.
She was a whole
I had lost a lot of weight up till that point. I mean, probably 80 pounds or so. So I did look a lot different. I like to change my hair a lot too, so that probably throws people off. But I did look a lot different. So I mean, it was just kind of a funny thing that happened, but I did look a lot different, and we hadn't been out a lot, so just so you know, I mean, fair warning that if you have marital problems before, it's probably not going to make it better. It may make it worse, especially if you're in a relationship where your significant other does make you feel bad about your weight, and then you lose weight, and then you kind of have this mindset of like, well, I don't have to put up with this anymore because I'm getting attention over here and over here and over here, and it causes a lot of problems. So.
And the one big thing that when I started looking at all this stuff was a lot of these women and men would say, okay, well, once I lost all this weight, I realized, wow, like, okay, well, would I have met my spouse had I been this thin at that point? Like, yeah. could I have done better? And luckily, Stephanie,
we don't feel that way.
Stephanie couldn't have done any better.
You could have done better. No, I mean, it is what it is. We hope these 4 tips have helped you out and kind of give you some perspective. Nobody's really talking about this, and maybe it's because it's a hard thing. These are some hard things to talk about. But if you want more real tips and more reality on weight loss and how my journey was, like and follow, and we'll be doing more videos. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.